Phil, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good yourself.
Good.
The day's
Before
just
we,
starting.
before we went live, there you're talking about how you just finished your paper and submitting it. Did you want to discuss that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen and talk about for maybe 5 or 10 minutes if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Share screen.
Present at the bottom. Yeah.
Entire screen. All right.
Oh, there we go.
So that's my experiment for those that didn't see it yet. That's like a liquid metal vortex that I'm working on right now. I bought the liquid metal from China, but it takes forever to get shipped. I required some assistance from a Chinese friend because to speed things up, let's put it that way. I'm 3D printing the apparatus at the same time. Hopefully, that's going to be done this month, and I've got the whole electric circuit design ready. Everything is ready. Theoretically, I just need to put everything in practice and not short circuit the whole thing. So my experiment is ongoing right now, but it's slower than I expected. That's actually it's a strange timing because today I just submitted my manuscript to General Relativity and Gravitation Journal for peer review. I'm actually
Congratulations.
rewriting the whole astrophysics, uh, the whole universe from the macro scale to the high energy physics. I talk about yeah, you can see the energy of accelerated particles here. There's a slight difference with relativity and finite theory. I'm talking about the gravitational redshift. I'm explaining the gravitational potential, all the physics. It's not just a mathematical abstract anymore. I'm explaining everything. The perihelion precession, disparity, the light bending. Here, the gravitational potential right here. It's very simple. The redshift here, it's all like algebra calculus. I don't need tensor calculus at all. It's very simple. Here's the redshift, the gravitational redshift. Cosmological implication. The moon, there are anisotropies with the light. There's a lunar laser ranging experiment. They send a laser on a mirror on the moon that is reflected back to the Earth, and they notice that the light is not always going at speed c. So it's the motion of the planet can plays a role in it. So there's an anisotropy of the speed of light there, and it's been noticed at the macro scale with supernovas and all that stuff. So and here I'm calculating the correct distance we are from the moon using finite theory, and I calculate that we're 7 meters off what general relativity predict. I'm explaining the flyby anomaly, the invisible universe, the Planck linear mass density, the galactic rotation curve. I applied finite theory to 500 galaxies, and I get the exact rotation curve for each one of them. So it's right on spot. I've got like this is just a sample here, but I've got a software that I wrote that processes 500 galaxies in 10 minutes, something like that. It's all C++ code. And here I calculate the distance we are from the universal core, the center of the real universe. I call it the universal core. Here I talk about the energy density. I calculate a whole bunch of important stuff with simple algebra. It's really high school algebra right here, and it's based on the mostly based on what was disregarded for so long is the gravitomagnetic and the gravitoelectric fields. You just interchange one with the other, and you can find the Hubble law, for example, is really just the gravitomagnetic field, and you can convert it into the gravitoelectric field, which is the gravitational acceleration, and you can retrofit the distance we are from the universal core from that. So it's very simple. I mean, it was very hard to figure out, but at the end of the day, it's very simple to represent. Here that's my experiment proposal. That
So you've essentially connected electromagnetic energy with gravity and mass, correct? Within the
yeah, I'm doing the analogy. Well, it's not an analogy. It's like I'm doing the there's the electromagnetic force and there's the gravitoelectromagnetic force. The electromagnetic force. The gravitoelectric force is just regular Newtonian acceleration, like A equals G times the mass divided by
So you're
the inverse
providing the
square.
groundwork essentially of bridging general relativity into electric universe theory.
Yeah, it's it's
That's pretty
I
cool.
don't invent anything, by the way. I don't. I'm just these are all existing formulas. Here you can see I'm using the Newtonian acceleration right here at equation 118, and from there I calculate the distance we are from the universal core. So it's I really don't invent anything. I just revisit the fundamental equations. So yeah, but it's mostly based on and I think the main equation. What you're asking is this equation. Uh, One sec. Yeah, this equation right here, 112. That's the energy density, the electromagnetic energy density. It's this formula right here. But I'm doing the exact same thing with the gravito-electromagnetic energy density, and I am able to solve a whole bunch of the size of the real universe. We are actually moving. The visible universe is moving, and we can already see what we see very far away is a bubble multiverse. It's other universes we are already able to see. So yeah, so we can see our own universe, but we can already see neighbor universes as well. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's. I wish I have a presentation that I showed at APEC. Maybe people can check it out. I'll try to post the link again.
for sure.
And this is the ISS International Space Station experiment proposal. It's just the way it's just consists of doing the Michelson Morley aboard the International Space Station, because the International Space Station goes 3 times the speed of sound, which is sufficient to measure a small discrepancy in the wavelength meter. So we should be able to see it, but the experiment is right there, and I've been proposing it for years, but I've been talking to
Never get a straight answer from NASA.
Yeah, well, I talked to the cases, the Center for Advanced Science, the group that handles the research on the International Space Station. I talked to them, but they said I need to pay like $500,000, and because it's too complicated for them, they can't really give me a grant for that. But it doesn't matter. They already have other ways here. It's so convincing, the theory. I already get the rotation curves right here. I got the earth tides and the flyby anomaly. I explain all that stuff. It's very simple to explain. So for me, in my head, I don't. It's not necessary, but to convince other people, maybe I'll need to do this experiment one day or the other. But for now, anti-gravity takes over, and it's more important, obviously. And yeah, but regarding the free energy, to go back on the main topic today's main topic, I figured out that the Larmor formula kind of converts accelerated ions into radiation. So if you have electricity in a coil, it's the electricity is constantly going to accelerate because it spins in circle. So it's going to create radiation, and I calculated that this should be pretty significant. So if you want to create free energy, it's not free energy, but it's a pretty significant amount of radiation. The radiation is going to be perpendicular to the coil as well, so it's going to be in a straight line, which is pretty great. You can do. I already know what to do with that. I will do the experiment one down the road myself, but I know exactly what to do regarding that. There's also the piezoelectricity that is pretty cool. It's kind of a ribbon of diamond, some sort of diamond that creates electricity. Actually, I've got the presentation here.
I'm going to be showing you how.
Yeah, with this device here that just flips, he creates it. Actually, he's sending, and he's doing the opposite. He's sending an electrical current in the ribbon, and the ribbon kind of flips. He creates a fan with that, but you can do the opposite.
That's an electroactive polymer, right?
Yeah. You can do the opposite actually by flipping the ribbon. It's going to create electricity. So what I was thinking of is you put like tons of ribbon in the ocean at 45 degrees, and the waves are gonna, the internal waves are gonna constantly move the ribbon. So it's going to create electricity. So that's a pretty efficient way to create electricity. You in 3 dimension. It's not like just on the surface of the ocean, but you can go in depth in the ocean and take advantage of that. And I saw also that some guys. I didn't double check that. I'm not sure if it's true or not. But there's a group of people. They claim to be able to magnify electricity. Their website is called Tesla's PowerMagnification.com. They got a DVD and all that, so they claim to be able to amplify electricity like by 5,000 times,
Yeah.
5,000%. Sorry.
They've been on like Aaron Maya Makamaxi, I think his last name. Aaron something. He works with Eric Pollard a lot, Eric Dollard a lot, and does a yearly convention where these two guys met, and that it has to do with the reshaping the electromagnetic field of the motors or the generators, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't check the theory at all. I think their name is Jim Murray and Paul Babcock. But I don't even know if it's patented, their stuff. Yeah, apparently it is. But just a heads up here. And there's also this cool new thing: 100 years of power using H2 boron plasma fusion breakthrough. I didn't go through this article, but yet, but it's pretty convincing. And last but not least, their Caltech, they have a satellite that is able to convert to beam down solar energy on the surface of the Earth. They're currently testing it, and they're pretty. They said I think they wanted to commercialize it this year if everything goes well. So they have I don't know exactly all the technical details, but they have some way of converting the solar energy and beam it down on the surface of the Earth. So so
could either be really good or work out really bad.
yeah.
Well,
So,
it's really efficient because it doubles as a weapon.
Yeah, right? Like,
yeah. So I want to share all that stuff, and hopefully I didn't step on anybody's toes here with my.
No, that was awesome, Phil. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Some really good stuff. Well, I've got your paper downloaded. I'll give it to read over more in depth afterwards, and we'll talk more about this for sure. Like, have a follow up, as I'm sure Simon's also definitely going to be reading that as well as many others.
Yeah, but it's being peer reviewed right now, and peer review is very subjective. Sometimes just because they don't like the color of your graph, you can be rejected. So, but I corrected it multiple times. I had help from Pablo in the WhatsApp chat, so he's very helpful, and William Ricken too. And but yeah, I'm pretty positive, man. It's gonna move forward, man. So hang in there. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome, my friend.
Cool. So yeah, that was my
the peer review.
Yeah. Sorry.
Congratulations on submitting it for the peer review, and hopefully it goes well for you and they don't find a random excuse to hate it.
Yeah. But I'm pretty optimistic because I cover everything, man. I don't neglect anything. I talk about everything, so I'm pretty optimistic.
That's the best way to be.
Yeah. So that was. If you guys have any questions, go ahead. Otherwise, we can move on to the next the next candidate.
Yeah, Mr. Mark, you were doing you've got someone helping you with setting up some extra coding.